Pops at Legal Reform. Legal Reform on Facebook, not a site you have to join, just a lot of useful information. Want to talk evictions today? If you get an eviction notice, go to court and file for an appearance. When you file for an appearance, it'll give you the option of a judge or a jury trial. You want to pick jury trial. Okay, the judge won't even notice that until he's done, and he's gonna, you won't notice that until you decide to take it to jury, and they'll drop it pretty quick. Okay, so not only when you file for court, you want to file for fee waivers. Okay, that means you don't have to pay. Considering the circumstances, a lot of people that are facing eviction, is because of a lack of funds. So this here will explain to you how, where it can, where and how it can be used. Now, if you go to the courtroom and file it yourself, you'll be granted it right away, okay? And you could also use a fee waiver in filing for discovery. Lawyers don't like to give that to you, so they're supposed to, and they charge you for it, which they shouldn't. That's yours. It has to go through you before them. Okay, so you want to file a waiver of fees. You want to file for, when you go to file for an appearance, you want to you want to file for a jury trial and let a jury of your peers judge you. You're better off with a jury of your peers, people like-minded in a similar situation, to give the decision. All right? Now I've done this before. I used to help people, and when I got evicted twice, it helped me, and both times I asked for 90 days. And I was getting evicted because I was trying to move. Two people totally upset. How landlords get, well, I want you out, and I want you out now. And well, you got to wait till I find a place to live. And that's what I'm doing. So if they do that, which they did, I mentioned to the judges in both cases about legal harassment. How can somebody evict me when I'm trying to move? The first time is because the landlord wanted me to pay for remodeling, which I was guaranteed the remodeling would be done before I moved in. So I left one apartment, loaded everything up, went to move that apartment, and there was no remodeling. Cracks in the walls, outdated motif, if you will. This was in the mid-1990s, the first time. And the decor, the decoration, whatever you care to call it, it was from the 70s. The front room had nothing but wood paneling on it, and nails popping out, bending, warped. And then there was the roof was leaking. The landlord blamed me and wanted me to pay for the damages that were done to the wall, and the ceiling came tumbling down. I was on the second floor. He was on the first floor. He wanted me to pay for that. And I said, I ain't paying for that. I didn't do that. He said, well, you and your kids must have left the tub running, and we weren't there all weekend. And when we came back, he decided that he wanted me to pay for it. So I explained all that to the judge. Judge gave me 90 days to move. Told them they had to remove the eviction notice. And they did, and I moved. I moved really quick. The only thing holding me back was somebody filing eviction notice when I was trying to move. Same thing happened the second time. And the judge was mad. The judge yelled. He says, he was really mad at me, yelling at me because I didn't come with a lawyer. And then when I mentioned the code of judicial conduct, he shut the hell up. And he said, how about we take this to arbitration first? I went there with the arbitrator and the lawyer from the opposing party, and they tried to convince me I had to understand what the judge wanted, so not to piss off the judge and what the other attorney wanted. And I told that arbitrator, that lawyer or judge, whatever it was, that, hey, I would, but he's got his head so far up his ass, there's no room for me. I says, you're up there, he's up there, the judge is up there, there is no room for me. So they got upset. We went back out. The judge said, so did you resolve this in arbitration? They said, no, he wants to take this to trial. So the judge says, all right, we're going to take this to trial. And he was all hyped up, getting ready to throw me out in the streets till the clerk of the court handed him the paperwork and seated. I demanded a jury trial. So the lawyer for the opposing party called the woman that hired him, and they had to bring up everything in the case, and I wanted to show them how I was wrong wrongfully evicted for the simple fact I was trying to move because I needed to get my knees operated on. There was no bathroom on the first floor, so I had to go up to the second floor. And the doctor said he wasn't going to do it until I moved to where I don't have to climb all these stairs just to get to, because I was hurting myself as it was. And he says if I hurt myself after the operations, I would render the operations useless, and there was nothing he could do to repair my knees after that. Both knees, torn meniscus. So they didn't want to bring up these facts. There was a lot of things they didn't want to bring up, especially the fact that I was trying to move. And because I didn't move, the very same day, crazy lady told me to move, started giving me all this crap, and you got to understand. I said, I ain't got to understand nothing. I'm moving. Just wait. And she got mad. Well, no, I want you out now. I even recorded her. Let her know I was recording. She was calling the police, trying to Karen me. Trying to lead me into a loud verbal argument. And just as she was reaching for the phone, I told her, I'm recording this for legal purposes, so on and so forth. And so she didn't go on the phone, and she went and got a lawyer. The lawyer came and gave me a 5-day, I don't know if it was a lawyer, just some guy came, knocked on my door, opened the door. He says, here's a 5-day notice. If you ain't out in 5 days, we'll have the county sheriff's throw you out on the street. I said, okay, I'll wait. He says, you're getting evicted. I said, yeah, and you got to take me to court. Giving me this piece of paper ain't nothing. It's not signed. It's not notarized. Nothing. This isn't a court order. And he didn't seem to think that I knew what I was talking about. And when I went to court, the judge was upset because I asked for a jury trial. But you know what? Nobody ever removed that eviction notice. I had to pay 4 months security deposit to move. But I was so anxious to get out of there because I wanted my knees operated, and I did, and I moved. Went back to court, and the court appearance was at 10 o'clock. So I was there. I walked in the court at 10 o'clock. It turned out that the lawyers and the judge are already closed the case. He moved. It's over. So I tried to explain to the judge, no, this ain't the place, time for that. But it was, because if any fraud upon the tribunal should be brought up before that tribunal. The judge just didn't want to hear it. So I still have the options to file with the Code of Judicial Conduct, because there is no statute of limitations on filing with the Code of Judicial Conduct based on denying me my right to due process. The judge wasn't abiding by the Code of Judicial Conduct. But we'll go over that later. I'm going to go over the California edition of the Code of Judicial Conduct, give it a form where to file, and tell you what to say as far as the Code of Judicial Conduct goes, and the rules that they did not enforce, which were the rules of professional conduct. The judge is supposed to be the enforcer in that court, making sure everybody abides by the rules. And if he doesn't, he's supposed to report him for misconduct, as reporting misconduct is mandatory in both the Code of Judicial Conduct and the rules of professional conduct. So if a judge violates the Code of Judicial Conduct, which they do, it's a legal obligation of both lawyers in that courtroom to report the judge. But see, if they report the judge and the judge is forced to report them, everybody's forced to report each other. Nobody wants to do that. Okay? So that's what's keeping you from your rights to due process. Due process is your right in every court, and in every court you have a right to a jury. So rely on the jury, a jury of your peers, like-minded people going through the same situation you are or have been through that situation, and everything will go your way. In both cases, I got 90 days, and I moved out both times before those 90 days were over because I just didn't want to be there. And the rules of professional conduct clearly state that that's nothing but legal harassment. Bring a fraudulent, frivolous claim before a tribunal. We'll get into that later, okay? But you want to do the waiver of fees, file for an appearance, file for a jury trial, and nobody's going to really want to take it further than that, because once you get a jury in there, they're going to know, what conditions you're living under, your special circumstances. Okay. So just a little heads up. I've done this before. I've helped people long before I ever needed it myself. The only legal reform you need to know is what the codes and the rules are and how to use them. No lawyer is going to do it. No politician. No judge. The only one you can rely on is yourself. I'm not trying to get you to have confidence in me. I'm trying to get you to have confidence in yourself. What you see is what you will know, and that's what you're going to use. What you know is what you know, and the story, okay? This is not me. I did not write this. I'm just using their words against them, okay? Using their words against them, holding them to the oath they took. That's what we're going to do, hold them to the oath they took. This is legal reform. I'll see you again soon. Pop signing off.